All right, welcome to this week's Care for the Course and Golf Rule of the Week segment. This week we're talking about out of bounds and course boundaries. So the USGA defines course boundaries as set by the committee of a facility, so the golf professional or the golf committee like we have here at the club, and we're determining the boundaries of the course and where we put the out of bounds stakes. And we do have a couple of holes on our golf course that have easements into properties. 3 and 7s is a good example. We have a little bit of berth there that goes past the cart path. We're on 13 here as an example where the out of bounds stake is very close to the cart path. And I set up a few examples here. We've got a ball here that's right next to the path, and we have a ball that's very near the out of bounds stake. So how do we determine what is the course boundary and what is defining out of bounds? Well, out of bounds is if all of the ball is out. If any of it is in, the ball is in. So remember the phrase, if it's all out, it's out. If any of it's in, it's in. So in these circumstances here, if I were to draw a straight line from one stake to the edge, I'm going to use the inner part of the stake here to determine, because I don't have lines on the ground, I'm going to determine with a straight line between stake to stake and the inside part of the stake to determine if my ball is inbounds or not. So stakes, it's important to remember that lines define the margin out of bounds. We don't use lines on our golf course. And then stakes identify. But so we have to create our own line. So that imaginary line is the inside part of the stake, straight line all the way to the other stake on the other side. So I would just put my club down here and I drew a straight line, and I can tell that part of this ball is out of bounds, but some of it's in, therefore the ball is in. If I continue this line all the way across, I'd find that this ball is in bounds as well. So both of these balls are in play. In this circumstance here, I've got a pretty easy shot. I can get it back to the fairway. This is a little bit more difficult. Because stakes define out of bounds, or rather they determine out of bounds, this is a fixed point and I'm not allowed to move it like I can a penalty area stake. So I would be forced to play this with a stake here. I can always take a penalty and drop the ball on the other side over here and take an unplayable lie, but I'm going to go ahead and hit this, and this would force me to go to the right. So remember, you can't move stakes when you're on the golf course that define out of bounds, all right? So remember when you're on the golf course to always make sure that you're staying out of areas. How do we care for the course? Stay out of areas that are not in bounds. You know, those areas that are defining the margins of the boundaries of the course. You know, this is an unsafe area here on the left. If we have a yard that is protecting, stay out of those areas, please. And also make sure we never move these stakes, because we need to know where those stakes are on the golf course for other players. So care for the course while you're out there, but also take advantage of the rules so that you can keep your ball in bounds, hopefully, when you think it's out of bounds, and you can score a little bit better. We'll see you on the course.